This week on Motor Week, we're at the other side of the world in downtown Tokyo. But we're not here for sightseeing, we're here for the motor show. So, to take us through the highlights of Tokyo, here's the Sun's motoring editor, Ken Gibson.
Tokyo Motor Show, and what better place to start than the Toyota stand, Japan's biggest car maker and the third biggest car firm in the world. And they've got a staggering 85 concept cars. It's like an old mini production line down there. And just to prove that Toyota haven't forgotten about the urban commuter, here we've got the very chic-looking ES Super Mini. This gets a 3-litre diesel that's capable of 100 miles to the gallon. Another reason why it's so economical is it's got an aluminium chassis that weighs just 700 kilograms. Sadly, no plans to put the car into production, but I expect the engine to go into the Toyota Yaris. If Hollywood bosses ever decide to make another Batman movie, I've found them the perfect Batmobile. It's actually called the Toyota FXS. That's for futuristic experimental sports. It looks to me very much like this could be the Toyota supercar of the future. And if it ever makes the road, it'll certainly perform. It's got a 4.3-litre V8 engine capable of in excess of 155 miles an hour.
But if you like your sports cars a little smaller, there's a stunner from Toyota's little brother, Daihatsu.
The last time that the Japanese produced a dinky-sized sports car, it was the Suzuki Cappuccino, and that went on to become a cult hit in the UK. Well, Daihatsu have now come up with a rather clever little roadster themselves, the funky-looking Copen. It's got a turbocharged 660cc engine, capable over 100 miles an hour, but it's got one very clever piece of technology. It's got a roof like the Mercedes SLK. How about this for a clever piece of kit for a little car?
Small and perfectly formed, the Daihatsu Copen. Well, we'll be looking at more from all of the major manufacturers later on in the programme, but for now it's over to the Honda stand where Ken's been looking at two of their latest models.
You know how we like to try and bring you world exclusives on Men and Motors? Well, we've got two more. We've come all the way to Japan to get the first test drive of the Swindon-built Honda CR-V. And we also get behind the wheel of their superb new Super Mini, the Jazz. Meet the spanking new face of the Honda CR-V. Built in Swindon and the pride of Britain. But for the world exclusive first road test, we've decided to take it right back to its roots. And believe me, you do not get any more Japanese than this. Honda were at the front of the queue back in 1995 for creating soft roaders, a 4x4 that didn't really pretend to be a serious off-roader. It was an instant success and has now sold over 1 million vehicles worldwide, including 138,000 in Europe, with Britain its best-selling market with 30,000. But the CR-V has come under increasing pressure in recent years from a host of new and more exciting rivals, and Honda have wisely decided it's time for a change. The good news is that Honda have worked on the suspension of this latest model to improve it even further, which means that you now get a very refined, very comfortable, very relaxing drive. First impressions are good. The CR-V has now got a smart new set of clothes. It in fact from certain angles looks like a scaled down version of the Mercedes M-Class. I'm sure that Honda will be delighted at that. I'm not so sure about Mercedes. But it's more than competitive for interior space and versatility. Plenty of room here for 5 adults, lots of cubby holes, and it's got a nice easy to use tailgate. Another impressive thing, especially on a car of this price, is a clever little reversing camera gadget that picks up nasty little things like me. The new engine's economical as well. Combined, you get 37 mpg, which is pretty impressive for a sport utility. Again, almost car-like. Honda say they do intend bringing a diesel in, but we're looking at waiting to the back end of next year. The petrol will arrive next March. Honda are definitely trying to get rid of their slightly staid and boring image. I like these mock aluminium touches around here that give it a more sporty feel. CR-V will come with a satellite navigation, which is pretty impressive if only I could understand it, because unfortunately it's all in Japanese and I have enough trouble understanding a normal English nav system. Honda have become pretty impressive recently on prices. The new Civic surprised a lot of people, and you should look at a 15,500 starting price for the CR-V, which will be the same price as the current model. And from the middle of the road niche sport utility, we go to something far sexier, the sensational new Jazz, currently the hottest new Super Mini in Japan. There's no doubt that Honda seriously needed to jazz up their image in the Super Mini sector after the anonymous logo model. In fact, they were so determined to make it a jazzy little number, they simply called their new car the Jazz. On the road, the Jazz feels a fun car with sharp, responsive steering, and it's impressively comfortable, front or back, for a Super Mini. The Jazz is not only a winner in the style and space department, but it also boasts an incredible new 1.4 litre petrol engine. If Honda's aim was to make themselves a funky little Super Mini with the Jazz, they've succeeded admirably. This really is a little car big on character. Right away from the bug-eyed front lights, all the way to the cute rear, this is an incredible little car. And it's also an amazing little car when you get to the inside. The interior is sporty Honda meets VW, with very Germanic style trim and plastics, and that's good news for buyers. And if you're impressed by the front space, which is very good for a Super Mini, take a look at the rear space. And for my next trick, how about this? For yet more incredible space from my Aladdin's cave. And if you have been impressed by that, you'll be even more impressed by my last trick, which I've saved till last, because I'm going to put one windsurfer, one snowboard, and one mountain bike into the back of one Super Mini. Oh yes, I am. You just watch this. And that is magic. Both these cars are obviously very important for Honda UK, and to get an insight into just how important they are, we've spoken to Ken Kiar, the MD for Honda UK. Ken, this has to be one of the more impressive locations for an interview, the Twin Ring Motegi circuit in Japan, but let me take you back home if I can. What are your hopes for the two new models that you're bringing out? Let's start with the new CR-V.
The new CR-V we're very, very excited about. It's an evolution of the previous one, Ken. We've majored on refinement, economy and interior space. All comments made by existing CR-V customers that needed improvement. So we're pretty pleased and certainly very hopeful that the customer's going to like this new car.
The Super Mini section is one of the areas where Honda has not really had a presence in recent years. You're obviously confident that Jazz is going to answer those problems.
Oh, it's a very competitive market. It's over 25% of all cars sold in Britain now. We're not there, so this is real business opportunity for us to attract a whole new customer base for Honda. It's our next step forward in the UK. The car has been already a stunning success in Japan. It's actually the second top selling car in Japan in the 3 months it's been in the market. We believe with the cleverness of the car in terms of space and its ride and the stunning fuel consumption, it's going to be a real competitor.
And are you looking forward to a positive year next year in the UK for Honda? Because the market's very tight. The UK market has been excellent this year, but as we've seen following the happenings of September the 11th, there are problems worldwide, certainly. Do you see there being a knock-on effect in the UK next year?
I think business in general has a concern, and we've got to face that. That's just part of the challenge. This year is going to be a 2.2 million plus market. Is the market dropping by more than 10% next year? Nobody really thinks it will. That means it's still going to be over 2 million new cars sold. It's a great opportunity. And with a new product and importantly the new factory in Swindon, where we'll be exporting back to Japan, here, US, Canada and of course mainland Europe, we're actually excited about next year.
Feast your eyes on Honda's stunning dual note, because this could well be the next generation NSX that you're looking at. If it is, it will also be the most environmentally friendly supercar on the road. Even though it's got a 3.5-litre V6 engine that'll do 150 miles an hour, it's also got Honda's legendary electric motor assist, which will mean a wallet-friendly 60 miles to the gallon. I've no doubt this is one of my definite stars of the show.
That's it for part one, but after the break we'll have more of the weird, the wonderful and the gorgeous cars from Tokyo. We'll see you soon.
And here we have the Nissan Nails concept. Now you can look at this two ways. This could well be the hard-as nails street pickup with a definite leaning towards an American pickup, or perhaps the Japanese haven't heard of the British saying bag of nails. I'll leave the decision up to you. They've got some very, very strange names in Japan. This is called the Fair Lady Z, but whatever you call this car, no matter how daft the name, it's an absolute stunner. If you were around in the 80s, you'll remember the Datsun 300Z, one of the first genuine Japanese sports cars. Well, this is its long-awaited successor. It will be called the Z car when it comes to the UK. It goes on sale in Japan next year, and in America and the UK they're hoping for 2003. This car is the Japanese answer to the Audi TT, and not only does it look even better, but it's going to cost around about the same price, but you're going to get a 3-litre engine with it. Personally, I can't wait. Motor shows are great for all the glamour and concept cars, but we tend to forget that sometimes the car firms are spending millions on safety, and we've been to see a very special robot. Welcome to the motoring equivalent of Star Wars. And the very sci-fi facilities behind us are in fact the world's most sophisticated crash test centre. And right behind me is the most sophisticated dummy you're ever likely to meet. He cost over £1 million to make, and in the accident that follows, the information that could be provided could well save your life.
Increasingly, manufacturers are testing their vehicles to make them safer for pedestrians as well as passengers. Before the pedestrian test, here's a reminder of how severe even a low-speed head-on can be. At just 20 miles an hour, the impact damage here is staggering. So what about the dummy test? Well, again, all carried out at low speeds, 20 miles an hour, and it is sickening. With over 10,000 road deaths in Japan last year and a staggering 100,000 accidents, it's no surprise technology is being used to aid pedestrian safety.
That sickening impact illustrates far better than words just why crash testing is so important. It also illustrates why Honda has just had their Civic voted the world's most safe car, because the data taken from incidents like this and hundreds more over the last year has allowed Honda to design cars that give far more information and dramatically improve the safety of their cars for both the drivers and the users to stop things like this happening. You are not going to believe this, but this incredible machine behind me was not designed in downtown Tokyo. It was actually designed in downtown Birmingham, England, and actually built in Coventry. The Isuzu Zen is a cross between a 4x4 and a van, a sort of go anywhere, carry anything machine. But the best part is the inside, which is an absolute work of art. I'm talking to Jeffrey Gardner, the chief designer for Isuzu on the Zen project, and one of the things I'm going to ask him immediately is, what was he trying to achieve with this rather remarkable vehicle? Jeffrey?
This vehicle is a mix between Isuzu four-wheel drive vehicles and a commercial van. It's to create a maximum space interior and then to listen to how people can use it.
And looking at how they can use it, basically it seems as if you can almost do anything in the back here. I mean, we're sitting in it now as if it's a tea room, but what else could it be used for?
You can store things in it. What we're trying to do is to make a car which is useful even when it's not being driven. So you can store things in it, you can keep sports equipment so you don't have to go home to get some stuff before you go out and do the sport. It can go anywhere. It's a fully functioning four-wheel drive vehicle with a 3-litre diesel engine, so it can get anywhere. But what we want to do is a vehicle which is useful at any time. so that you can use it as a storage room, as a place to meet people. You can take friends out in it, and even there's enough space in here to use it as a bedroom. We're not saying that this is a lifestyle vehicle, we're just giving people space in which to express themselves and to ease their life.
You've got a very good reputation back in Birmingham for designing Isuzu concepts that come to reality. I'm thinking of the Vihi Cross. Is this a vehicle that could fairly easily, if Isuzu wanted, be converted into a full production vehicle?
Certainly the concept is going to come out somewhere. This particular vehicle would not be that difficult to make into production. Obviously there'd be certain details we would look at, but basically this is a running vehicle on a standard chassis, so there is no problem making this into a production vehicle.
Jeffrey, I'm sure that over here there is a special Japanese word for it, but if you'll raise your glass, I think all I can say is here's cheers to the Zen and to Isuzu. Cheers.
Kanpai.
If variety is the spice of life, then I've just decided that Tokyo is the motoring spice capital of the world. It may not be as big as Frankfurt or as glamorous as Geneva, but believe me, Tokyo is the most outrageous thing on four wheels. Well, it's been an absolutely sensational Tokyo show, but all good things come to an end. So that's the end of this report, and as they say around here, sayonara.